All right, folks. Great to see this map again. Great to see these two players catching up to live time as we've got Pacific Islands game number 1. This is a decider. The winner of this series moves out of this bronze qualifier bracket essentially into gold. Only 8 players can do that. And it is one of the more interesting ones in terms of storylines and career trajectories because these players feel like they should be in gold. Stark has been in gold before. Now, for Stark, he's been around a really long time. We just told stories about how Stark has genuinely just been around forever. I remember casting him 12, 13 years ago. But he just keeps hanging around and he keeps playing well. Again, he was in gold before. I could see him getting back there. And then St4rk. St4rk is one of 2 players from this entire bracket that I think just simply belongs in gold and might even, if they were to make it to gold, get 2 platinum for the very next season. He's that good. He's top 20 in the world in terms of tournament rankings right now. And I know he's really well prepped for this and has been taking this very seriously. Even last year, he lost 3-2 to Wide, who you'll also remember from some of these groups. He lost 3-2 to Wide, and that was a shock to me and a lot of others. That was a really big disappointment for him, and I think he used that disappointment to just improve even more over the past year or so. So, St4rk is my favorite, but we'll see. Stark has a tendency to just never die. And if you don't apply perfect calculated amount of pressure to him, he will survive for a long time. And we also have a really interesting map pool for Stark. Both his maps seem really good for him. And Pacific Islands is a map that I think could work well for him as well. So, on this map, you start with the transport ship. And both players just moving around with their transport and their scout right now in it. St4rk doing something that's become pretty common on this map, just bringing the scout forward and looking for the dock. Found the dock over here. It's a little too late for that. Nice dock position there for Stark. Now, both civs have an amazing navy, but navy isn't everything on this map because there's not a lot of fish to be gained by controlling the water. It really does come down to navy later on in the game, so it's like a mix of navy in the early game's nice, but you just can't only make navy because if you don't expand to the other islands, your resources just get really, really slim here. The wood lines and the lack of food and everything is a problem. So I think Armenians are the superior civ in terms of expanding, just because of the mule carts. Actually, they're great. They don't even need to expand. The mule carts can allow you to just roll around here and take full advantage. But the Vikings' free wheelbarrow still plays its role, and the Vikings have an incredible navy later on in the game. So neither civ is a civ to be cautious with when looking at the water aspect of the game. Both players about to click up here. Apella, thank you for the gifted sub, man. Thank you, Squeak, as well for the new sub. Welcome, guys. Thank you, Will. We had 2 different Jakes resub today. Right? Is it the same? Oh, wait, no, one's Jakku. I don't know if that person's a Jake. So we have Jake, is Dev, and Jakku. Thank you, guys. Also, yes. Hi, YouTube. Later on. Hello, extras people. Thanks for watching. Maybe there's a Jake watching on YouTube. I don't know. He's like, what? You talking about me? So the right side is a little bit more spacious. And St4rk has scouted that. He scouted both sides pretty nicely. What you're actually looking for, though, is you're looking for a gold, woodline, and deer all together. So you didn't see this gold. You just don't want to have to travel very far if you transport anything. It doesn't look like he's actually going to. Again, because he can do that later. Stark, he doesn't have the mule cart, so he's bringing 6 villagers now. He's going to come to the left island. This is most likely for a woodline. And yeah, he's got good scouting. This is an interesting little nugget of space. I don't know if that's a nugget. I guess that'd be like a pocket of space. But it could be really bad if you get surrounded by galleys or something. Yeah, Stark will go for a second dock on this side. Also builds the lumber camp. And thank you for the kind words, Squeak. TJ and Chrysalis, thank you. We got a little train going right now. Thank you, Marcy. Stark. Ooh, okay, so Stark is kind of prepped. Sometimes players have actually gone for man-at-arms on this map. And so Stark was expecting that. And so he's preemptively walled. Obviously, nothing has happened. But I find that really interesting. Because that doesn't happen that frequently. Stark ready to go. Stark is going to immediately tower here. Okay, so essentially Stark doesn't want to do anything on land. He builds a tower here to protect this area. And this will be a lot of Navy for both. More Navy than you've seen in most cases. St4rk Kuma has built his barracks on the starting island. So he might be inclined to go for some archers or something. But he has not seen Stark over here. I think he's going to bring the Vils over now. And he'll start to take res here. And then he'll probably build an archer range there to pressure. But that's what makes Stark's tower so good. It's already protects the area. And St4rk Kuma is kind of late to the knowledge. You don't want to scout with your transport at this point to find docks and such because you'll lose it. So he doesn't necessarily know. Stark does not have a mill yet, though. Neither player will, but they'll eventually do that. And yeah, I expect St4rk Kuma to build an archer range over here eventually. Scout comes over. There's a lot of stuff happening here. A lot of multitasking. And the galleys will find each other. Seeing the second galley should tell St4rk Kuma that that's 2 docks. At least most likely. Close game so far. There's the archer range for St4rk Kuma. Scout should probably be looking to see if Stark is over here yet. Yeah, this is one of the most difficult maps to play in the game. Certainly in the map pool. That's why majority of other players have banned it. There's just so many different aspects to worry about. And there's the scout. Scout will spot this. Now, there is a crazy thing you can do. This happened to me once. And it worked really well. You make your archers, right? You make like 4 archers. And you just rush down the tower with Vils. It's risky, right? But like normally someone in Stark's position is not going to have anything. So, I mean, he'll fight you back with Vils. He'll garrison his tower. But in my case, I only had like 6 Vils here. Stark having this many Vils and actually having faster Vils with free wheelbarrow is... probably makes that kind of difficult, but it is something you can actually think about, which is weird, right? But so the tower doesn't completely shut this down is my point. Another thing you can do is you can place a tower that's just in range of the opponent's tower with fletching and just garrison your tower with the archers. I could see St4rk Kuma doing that. Nice shot from St4rk Kuma just patrolling the choke point right now. He doesn't actually have fletching yet. Stark does, so Stark gets a really nice volley off there. Armenian galleys are slightly better right now because they have that extra arrow. And yeah, fletching is in. And still 0 kills, 0 deaths in this game, guys. It's been super smooth from both. What's Stark scouting like? So Stark doesn't know about this. Stark scout is over here right now. Almost looks like it's on auto scout. He doesn't actually know that there's potential for pressure over here. And he's just leaned into the galleys almost fully here. We don't see a barracks. We don't see an archer range. He's definitely going more Navy focused than St4rk Kuma, which is what the Vikings maybe want to do. But will St4rk Kuma... Yeah, he's going to do the... Is he going to Vil rush it? Oh, man, this is, I think, exactly what I said. This is really interesting. Because there's no defense other than that tower. He's brought more Vils. He's going to rush the tower down. And Stark is microing on water right now. And Stark has no expectation that this could ever happen. This is such a weird thing. This is crazy. We just talked about this. Stark is going to look at this and be like, wait a second, what? And now he's got to leave. He clearly reacted way too late. His tower's gone. St4rk Kuma could take the land. The archers are going to pay off here. And this is such a good play from St4rk Kuma. And guys, this is just experience, right? This is experience. Now, actually, when this happened to me, you could only put 5 villagers in each transport ship. They made a change a patch or 2 ago. You could put 20 units in Dark Age and Feudal Age. So actually, I just died. Like, imagine you could only escape with 5. I'm just, like, dead. I lose so much, right? Anyway, Stark actually gets to escape there. It could have been worse for him. He is on the way to Castle Age. He will take some wood lines out here. So, nice adaptation. St4rk Kuma is going to bring archers over to this side now with the transport. St4rk Kuma is not on the way to Castle Age. I think that's really important to remind you. And he does not have the galley number of Stark. So, if Stark can win water in Castle Age, could still be in a really nice position. But it's going to be tough for him now to take resources. Like, if he wants to sneak over here, that's kind of difficult to justify. If he wants to come back here, that's difficult to justify. But that uptime from Stark is really good. And he's on stone, so I think his plan is to come back, maybe with a castle, which is a really nice play. He's actually dropping a tower here. Yeah, he's paranoid because he's out in the water, but this actually is kind of safe. I mean, considering the circumstances, Kuma's navy's coming in from the other side, right? Nice pickoffs there from Stark. I mean, Stark's going to win water. This isn't even going to be close. He'll be up in 20 seconds. He already has the numbers advantage as well. So this is a true test of if it's true, my statement before on if winning water is the most important thing on this map. I wonder if Stark will ever assume that there's archers over here. I would say that Stark is probably just going to try and come back here, but then again, that's risky, right? We'll see. He's up. Score is going to be really good because he'll have a lot of navy. Nice micro from Kuma at a disadvantage to get some snipes on some weak ships here. There's one more really weak one in there. You could probably kill two more. Micro has been awesome, actually. Wow. Micro has been really good. So he's falling back. Stark's still got his scout on that island, but that's about it. Kuma still a minute away from Castle Age, and now Stark's going to make longboats. Longboats are insane. The thing about Vikings and longboats is you destroy buildings so fast. It's so much faster than normal ships. So it's like impossible to retake water against the Vikings when they make longboats. I think Kuma, if he's going to have chances here, he's going to have to play the long game and have to boom up on these islands. He has to use that advantage. And Stark's transport is going to be our focus. He's going to try and get back. Sneaking a town center up is probably the play. Kuma just fleeing with the fish. Stark still adding more navy, but Stark into the transport now. Welcome, everybody. This is really good. This is a really fun game. There are times where I sometimes question the amount of time investment I put into this game. But the fact that I brought up the very scenario where that tower got battered down with villagers makes me feel a little bit better about it. Because without the obsession, I would have never encountered that. Oh, this is crazy. Stark is going to TC here. And will Kuma see it? Yes, Kuma can see it. I mean, he's got a piece of the island. So, he's got some wood. He's got some gold. It feels like that could so easily be siege pressured, though. And Kuma will see that. Xbox says, please leave questioning your time commitment to me. It says, it's fine. Keep going. All right, I'll leave it to you. Kuma also bringing villagers over here now. And also still making some navy. Stark's kind of has his navy split up right now in different areas. So maybe Kuma could take some decent engagements. There's some weak ships in there for Stark. Stark's still got ships over here searching for fishing ships that have never been found. The fishing ships looped around back. I think only one went down. But, like, this feels like a big siege target for sure. The thing about this map, though, is if I were to give you a simplified game plan, it's just build TCs as quickly as possible and add eco. So, arguably more important to just get a bigger vill count than it is to siege push this TC. You realistically should be able to do both pretty soon here if you're Kuma. There's the siege workshop. Stark looping a big navy back this way. Still has the navy here. Kuma will try and deal with that. Notice there's not a big fishing eco for Stark. Notice the farming eco isn't that big. Like, food income is going to be a big talking point here. There are more farms for Kuma. Still able to move his mule cart around. He needs to farm in the north of his base, though, so nothing gets ranged by the navy. Stark is going to try and sandwich this navy from Kuma. Kuma's micro has been exceptional so far. I've been really impressed. He's microing at a disadvantage in numbers and in tech sometimes. And he's still taking really good fights considering the circumstances. He's going to lose this fight, though. And game is even. Game is really close. I just feel like Stark's core problem here is going to be he doesn't have land control. And I think what I would do very soon if I'm in Stark's position, once I start getting pushed here, I'm going to try and go here. But, like, if you do that, there's still some army there. It's not a big army. But, I mean, yeah, there's enough. There's enough archers with Bodcanero. That's just a problem. So, Sora Kuma, I think in many ways, has Stark exactly where he wants him. I think he understands the situation here. And just so much easier for him long-term to collect resources. I see Gabby's in chat spamming the Brazilian flag. What's up, Gabby? Gabby, are you going to be spamming the Brazilian flag during your own series? Gabby will be playing Fire. It's Brazil versus Brazil there, so I guess Brazil's going to win one way or another. Oh, man, Sora Kuma. Sora Kuma can't see this. I wonder if Stark ever saw the archers. Because this is a really cool TC. This TC changes the game. This keeps Stark in it. If he went here and it gets spotted, it could get really bad. Stark is also dropping a castle here. I just realizing now I didn't remove the daddy from Stark's name. Whatever. I guess we'll keep it. But yeah, I wonder if Sora Kuma will see the deer. Because if he sees the deer, the farms is a spectating thing. But if he sees the deer, he will know that Stark is there, and he can actually castle it almost immediately. But noticing that, being aware of that is key. There's a lot of deer movement. There's dead deer. I think Sora Kuma is going to notice this soon. He's building an outpost now. Eventually, all the villas you have on this island run out of work to do. So these all have to be your farmers now. I would not be adding farms anywhere else. That's easy to forget, though. And even the houses, all this is going to go down. Stark's navy control could be really strong there. Sora Kuma, okay, sees some villagers now. He actually just committed to a castle over here. He might want a castle over here. And Stark is also outposting. Stark needs to understand what's over here. He needs to understand fast. And yes, Sora Kuma does see that now. He knows. And we might even see him buy a castle. You don't know if there's a siege workshop there, though. If there's a siege workshop, this could be really bad. Ooh, Stark's Island. Hello. Hello. Stark's Island. We got archers transported over. They're going to Stark's starting island. Stark has the navy control. This still somehow happened. That's what makes this map so tricky. There's so many different areas to look at. This will be siege pushed. Stark has an archer underneath his DC. Notices that. There's still the navy's fighting some villas over here, though. Sora Kuma needs to leave. Sora Kuma is running out of resources to take with these villas. He could lose them all. But Sora Kuma's going to drop a castle here. Man, if Stark would have gone siege workshop instead of a monastery, imagine the difference here. One mangonel, this castle could be denied. It might be a little too late for Stark to do anything about that. That castle's not being built with a lot of villas, but Stark is just busy right now. Looks like he just killed the archers. So he's focused there. He's happy with that. But a look back here now, that castle's on the way, and he just noticed it. So just noticed it clearly. He's going to try and expand a little bit and drop another TC and cling to land. Again, there is the navy all around here from Stark. That's really strong. And Stark is imping now. I mean, Viking economy is ridiculous. The fact that he's on the way to imp right now is insane. Because he has never been ahead in villagers. He's never been ahead in farm count. Sora Kuma, though, will also try and idle here and get to imp. And Sora Kuma should click up right behind him. Always use this TC. Always. This TC is your MTC. Because you don't want more villas here. You do not want to, like, birth villagers into this barren land. There you go. Actually, at a certain point, you delete this TC later. I think... don't delete it now. That would be bad. But after imp, I think you just... maybe you research handcard here, and then you just delete it. Because you might not need 4 villas here, and you might not be able to escape. So... but, like, you go imp for better water tech... or you go imp for trebuchets. And Stark's still having this problem. It's like, over here, Trebs might not help him that much because he can't move out. And now there's another castle going up. So Sora Kuma has just waited for him. And he's continued to focus. And, oh, hold on. Stark will build a counter castle. And Sora Kuma doesn't have enough vills there. Sora Kuma backs up. Kuma will have to build another one. Kuma is trying to wall in this Mangonel, which is a crazy play. Stark added scouts. Now, I think the Mangonel can actually be hit through the corner pieces. That's actually the Imp TC as well. I think it can still be hit through the corner pieces. So, I mean, that's a cool play, but you need to have all the walls down. Still, I like the chaos that this has caused, and Stark has had to add a stable here and move a bunch of Ills around. Kuma will have 2 castles. Stark will just have 1 here. Now, Stark does have the transport here, so if he can manage it, he can produce Trebs from this one and transport it over. He is an Imp faster. He does still have the Navy. This is looking really bad for Kuma. Like, these villagers are in a tough position as he's hoping to retake water. He is just building some towers to have a little bit of the shoreline safe. Also has siege over here that he's randomly repairing. There's so much to look at right now. Kuma does have more availability for stone and gold, but he's not using stone right now. He's not mining any of this stone, which means for repairing castles, this could get tricky. Obviously, retaking water would be a pretty nice move for Kuma. Look at that micro from Stark. He backed all the way up, and, well, now he gets hit anyways. Kind of a weird fight to look at. But obviously, the Navy's going to win there. War galleys are being massed in the stock from Kuma, but his eco is not looking very efficient. He needs safety. And Stark is Treb pushing. Stark is making Trebs from this castle, too. And Stark will get a university right now for ballistics, which neither player has. There's a lot happening, guys. Kuma loses a Treb! Kuma loses a Treb! That hurts so much here. He's already at a big disadvantage. He already doesn't have stone income. Stark could really start to take this island here. Could still be a really long game. We could still possibly see Kuma escape. He actually needs to escape over this way, probably. He's about to have a, big evacuation. But yeah, Stark takes the score lead. Stark is getting Galleon. And Stark has enough trebuchets to fully take Kuma off this island. It could be 1 island for both players. Now, hold up. There's actually trebuchets from this side from Kuma. So Stark might be taken off of this island as well. What a game. What a crazy, crazy game. Yeah, like, Kuma needs to be careful about coming to this island. He's going to lose this fast. So maybe you can just, like, drop a TC there and try and cling to life here. But, like, that's a lot of ills that you need working. Still no ballistics, still no chemistry for Kuma. Still this TC producing villagers into no man's land. But I guess so is Stark. Yeah, Stark still kind of is. Kuma's had a relic here. I mean, they're both in a really awkward scenario. Both housed really badly right now because they've lost their castles and they weren't prepared to deal with it. It's funny, but both players feel dead right now. Both players feel super dead. Wow, Silesian Fleet coming in. That was a crazy upgrade. I didn't think he could afford it. That gives the galley line extra range. That is one of the best water upgrades in the game. And still no ballistics. Still no university for Kuma. Which I think he'll notice eventually. Like, it should dawn on him, but you have to see more engagements before that dawns on you. I think something just clicked in Kuma's mind. Houses here, farms here. Like, keep it all out of and away from the other islands. They both are, like, barely on the opponent's island right now. We're going to call the right island Stark's and the left island Kuma's. But we got more villagers over here for Kuma, so he's just taking more resources away from Stark, essentially. Kuma's navy is still just massing out of 3 docks back here, but he's getting upgrades. Still waiting on the university. The university is really important here. Now, Stark also needs another castle because he has no army to protect his trebs. A castle right here, and he can continue this push. But without a castle, knights could become a problem. Lycav could even become a problem. I don't think making a lot of berserks is realistic with his economy. So I would just castle creep, essentially. Like a really good tower rush. Just keep moving in. I think he'll do it. I mean, Stark, I'm not going to question his decisions very frequently today. It's just going to be the execution. Stark should know. Stark will drop that castle. I'm almost certain. Meanwhile, we got chemistry. And then I guess eventually ballistics could come in for Sora Kuma. And yeah, there's the castle from Stark. What a game. What a game, guys. What a game. Sora Kuma sees it. Sora Kuma sees it's one Vill and is going to fight with villagers. I mean, now Lycav are coming out, but the stables are getting trebbed down. There's like a couple random berserks there. Stark just clicked the mule card. Sora Kuma's going to lose a lot here. He does still also have the Navy, and it's pretty significant Navy moving in through the middle at the same time. Sora Kuma, I think, needed to bail. Is he destroying this castle? Is he destroying this castle? Does he have sappers? That castle's going to complete, but it's not going to have a lot of HP, and there's actually a chance the castle goes down. He must have sappers. Look at that. He's going to lose so much. But he's taking out a Treb. He took out most of the Trebs. The castle for Stark needs to be repaired. We still have the big Navy battle happening where there is still no ballistics for Sora Kuma. That is a really big upgrade. And Stark is producing a lot. And Sora Kuma has lost a lot. I think he just needed patience there. I think he needed to back off with his Vills. Come over here and chill out for a minute. But it's hard to chill out with the stakes are so high. And guys, Stark is going to win this game if he can keep pushing. He obviously lost his Trebs, but he still has one to take this castle. I got to double check on that. That has to have been sappers. There's no way that you can do that much damage against a castle without that tech. It might just become a full-on Navy battle now. Let's not forget Sora Kuma has relics. Looks like he's lost this one. Didn't end up getting, like, shipwright or anything. And ballistics is on the way now. And he does still have some stables, so maybe the occasional Lycav can harass Stark. It's kind of tough with the castles. But that really evened out the game. That was, up until this point, Sora Kuma's advantage was in economy. Stark is way ahead in the galley count right now. He's got 43. It's only 25 for Sora Kuma. And I'm not seeing a good enough economy for Sora Kuma to really compete here and recover. Like, actually love that tower there from Stark. Stark's got more docks, to my knowledge. Yeah, he's got a lot more docks. And this is going to get progressively worse for Sora Kuma. He's still clinging to life here, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think, you know, his island is relatively uninterrupted right now, so... Like, Stark's got so many ships and so many Trebs. This is such a fun game. Such a crazy game to start the series. You could tell why people ban this map and don't want to play it, because there's just so many things that can go wrong. Still having a TC here is wild to me. It just feels like it's... I guess you need all the vills you can get at this point, but it feels like it makes life so complicated. Players should know that they can transport out to these other areas of wood. That sucks. But like here, you could take wood. Kind of like Stark did. It's an underrated move. Sora Kuma probably can't believe how big Stark's Navy is right now. That is a massive galleon Navy. And if Stark could just transport over, he could bring all his Trebs and his couple Berserks, and he can ransack this whole area as well. Sora Kuma cannot allow this to pass. But I don't know if he can. Transport ships around. Possibilities there. It's really awkward with pathing through this with ships. We've made some changes to different versions to try and improve that, because things kind of get stuck. So things are looking okay for Sora Kuma in terms of his patrol. Yeah, then now Stark does the same patrol. And Stark's going to be fine. Stark's going to be fine. You've got to transport around somewhere. Pretty soon, we'll see the Trebs and the Berserks come in. There is nothing there for Sora Kuma. There's Navy back here from Stark. That's been getting some eco kills. Stark's got the bigger island. He's got a good economy. He's grabbing lots of techs. He's going to drop a castle here. And he will then follow this up with a transport of Trebs, Berserks, Scorpions. I mean, bring the Monk while you're at it. Bring everybody. Bring the Vill. There's enough space in there. So it seems like a bad castle for a second until he brings his army, and now he can actually snipe this trap. So those berserks, that's enough because there's nothing for Kuma to snipe the Treb. The Trebs from Stark can take the TC and take the castle. And the favorite Kuma is going to be under some threat here against the older established pro Stark, who just always seems to be able to get it done. This is a really nice win from Stark. It's a really tough game. There's so many things that went wrong here. It just feels inevitable now. Just think of Kuma's economy after this. He's building another castle just to cling to a little bit of land. It's any land that he can. But that's going to be castle down, monastery down. Stark's villagers are all collecting res. There's obviously some idols there as I say that, but he's just got such a big navy. And I mean, the only way I can consider Kuma being able to bring this back is winning water right now. Like, taking down the castle is going to be tough. But maybe you make a couple Trebs, you make a couple Dramens, and you win the water. But the numbers just aren't there. Stark has had about 20 more galleons in most of these fights. Kuma used to have the relic advantage. Those relics are gone now. Stark would end up having 6. Stark's got 50 on wood, 24 on gold. Kuma has about 50 on wood, 0 on gold right now. Really hard to compete on Navy if you don't have any gold income. And Stark knows it now. I think I would just pull some of my galleons to snipe the Dramens and let the others patrol. Kuma is trying to micro. Realistically, letting those Dramens get hits is not what you want. But it doesn't matter if you still have such a big mass of galleons that you could probably patrol and take the fight. Yeah, Stark sees it now. It moves the one group in a little bit further. Stark thinks that he can take bad fights and still win because he can just produce more. And I think that that's true. But seriously, though, these Dramens kind of worrying me for Stark. Stark's still trebbing down everything over here. He's still got Berserks. He's still got Scorpions. He's getting land upgrades more than anything so he can get more Berserks out there. Nice micro from Kuma. Stark actually did click the Dramens, and then the Dramens got microed back. But Kuma has no gold. He does actually have this wood, which I guess Stark doesn't see? Or maybe Stark doesn't care about because it's so little. The Dramens only had 7 kills last I checked. They have 11 now, but they're also weakening a lot of the ships. So they're getting assists on kills. They're not getting the final kills a lot of the time. But Stark had it right. Stark knows that he'll just be able to produce more here. And he's just waiting. You see the villagers like this? He's just waiting until his opponent runs out of res. Actually, Kuma grabbed the relics again for a second, and then the monastery got taken down. Just in terms of sheer access to resources, Stark can win this game. But Kuma is sending everything he's got into water now. He's trying what he can to regain those relics. Yeah, again, it's just a big patrol from Stark here. The Dramens are a problem, but so many galleons on the way. How has Stark been able to somehow take essentially all of the land when he had none of it earlier? Crazy stuff. And yeah, he's going to snag these relics real quick. He's got some skirms and some berserks. And the Trebs moving in. Vils are going to fight back. Vils are all that Kuma really has beyond a couple composite bowmen. But the berserks will shred those. The Dramens click forward. The Dramens are too far forward now. He needs to back away. I think Kuma will be fine. I think we'll talk about it. He's an incredible player, and he's the favorite for reasons beyond Elo. I think some people look at the Elo and think that's why I think he's the favorite. We'll talk about it, but Kuma he has incredible resilience. But this is a big statement for someone like Stark to just show himself. But also Sora, like, listen, dude, I'm legit. It's not a fluke that I got here. I've been around a long time for a lot of really good reasons. And yeah, Stark is finding more villagers are here, coming over for trees. And yeah, Sora has just got so many idols. I think Stark even patrolled these woodlines. Like, I think he's even camping those woodlines because he knows Sora could be out there. Just kind of crazy. I mean, he did it as well, right? So, Sora is going to have nothing left. The Dramans did a lot. The Dramans did a ton here. So, you know, things that... If small things could have gone differently. I think Sora navy could have been considered the superior navy, but he never had the numbers, and he lost way too much ground on this side. Stark getting to this island was key. And now he's got both islands here. Both locked down. Stables coming up for Sora. I guess he sees skirms and has a little bit of food, so he's like, let me make some light cav real quick. Stark's navy count isn't what I was expecting it to be. The Dramans have been a problem for him. His castle is getting taken down. But again, he has so many ships in queue. And it's desperation for Sora. His Treb is on the shoreline. Like, he is just trying anything he can to get a couple trees. Even just tossing your skirms against ships at this point is fine for Stark. His resources are crazy. The reality is, Stark he doesn't have to do anything different. Whether this takes another 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, this game is his now. And the more his opponent try and, like... The more desperation Sora shows, the better it feels for Stark. Because you know you've got the game won, and you know they can't believe it. Nothing wrong with fighting, of course, for Sora here. I think he's intentionally patrolling to dodge, like, tower fire there. That's how bad this got. Damn, what a great game. All right. So I'm going to go back to the moment of the game, which I think was the most key moment of the game. Might not be the moment you're thinking of, but it was really cool. I actually want to investigate this a little bit further as well. Stark takes the first game. Crazy start. So, Sora had a perfect game plan here. He had a perfect game plan. It's going to feel painful to lose this one because I actually think that everything he did was pretty much spot on. He rushed this tower down, which we saw. He pushed Stark off of here. He then had his army and navy patrolling here to stop Stark from coming this area. Now, what Stark ended up doing was crazy. He actually town centered like the middle area, which obviously makes sense in some ways because he's got his navy nearby. But normally you're coming from here because you're bringing the vills from here. So I want to go back to when he transported that just to see if he spotted anything. I mean, this town center position was crazy strong just because it was not immediately spotted. Now, ultimately, Sora is going to regret not having outposts here. I think if Sora has 1, 2 outposts, he spots it immediately, he castle drops immediately and puts an end to it. But this town center was crazy strong. And then, of course, it takes a while for Sora to see it. Like, this castle could have been the castle on the other side. And then Stark just kind of hangs around. And ultimately, the Trebs were huge. He got to so many Trebs so quickly, and then he just went fully into water. But that's Viking economy for you. Stark didn't really have as much on food. He didn't have any relics. But still, the resources collected was decent enough. And, I mean, what a game that was. My goodness. That was so good. But some players don't take the risk. Some players don't build that TC at all, and then they just die. Stark took the risk. So, yeah, KD was even. Sora will feel a lot of negative emotions with that because I know he's practiced a lot, and that was a really good game from him that he still lost. And we move into game number 2, Sora home maps now. And, yeah, you can see their speed similar and whatnot. What a game. So, this is going to be a true test for Sora. Again, winner moves into the Gold League, 25k Gold League. Stark proving already why he has been there and done that before. Stark over here in the red. Stark has gone for the Malians, and we have Sora Kuma as the Georgians. And this is a map that also requires a lot of multitasking. So game 1 was a lot of multitasking. And, I mean, this one as well. I think the final 3 maps are going to be a lot slower and less multitasking focused. So they'll get to relax a little bit more. But obviously the pressure will be much higher. Wakavi says, T90, do you think Sora is still the favorite given the 1-0 Stark lead? Yeah, I do think that, yes. Yeah, I believe in Sora Kuma so much. I still think, with no disrespect to Stark, that I would say a 3-1 or 3-2 victory for Sora Kuma. Realistically, looking at the draft, if Sora Kuma wins now, I'm thinking a 3-2 because Stark's got some really good maps that he's really comfortable on. Pacific Islands was a really good starting map for him, clearly. This is the map that's going to be the toughest for him to win on. Stark has picked a civ where you have a lot of wood savings. And the start on this map is just all based around the lack of wood. So it's a good civ to have here. Georgians, another mule cart civ. Great in situations where you run dry on wood. And Georgians can be really fast start here. But Sora Kuma could be having some mental struggles. Should be feeling some stress right now. Could be getting some flashbacks to last time he played to get into gold. And he lost 3-2 to Wide when he was the favorite. He wasn't as big a favorite as he was... well, maybe he was as big a favorite. I don't know. Wide and Sora Kuma have both improved a lot since then, but... I know that it was like one of the biggest disappointments in Sora Kuma's career. Everybody expected him to qualify. But he's done so much since then. It really is a shame that both players can't be gold at the same time, to be honest with you. But that's just not how it works. One player will end up in silver. Sora Kuma's found some cows on the outside. Stark hoping to do the same. Man-at-arm opening can be pretty common for a couple different infantry civs out there. Georgians isn't really one of them. I do think it's a really good opening for the Georgians, just based on their start, but I'd expect more like scouts and archers, maybe, for the Georgians. Stark, I could see going man-at-arms. Malians have good infantry. Having to build that barracks early with the man-at-arms build is more doable when things are cheaper, so... Fenaro says, how about we get both players to gold? Well, that's not possible, at least for this season. The only way that you could have both these players in gold would be winner makes it to gold, obviously. Loser will be in silver this season, and then they can get promoted out of silver to gold for the next season. But let's just say you're destined to be top 24 in the world, okay? Like, you're that caliber player. Through the Titans League progression... You essentially, it takes a year each to move up, right? So with the addition of silver, we had like this kind of this combo qualifier where it's silver and gold. But going forward, it would be that's not going to be the case. There's no fast track going forward. So at least most likely, anyways. And barracks for Stark expected. Sora Kuma should be looking for that. Sora Kuma just saw the dock so far. Sora Kuma's on the way up as well. And players will need to evacuate eventually, but the Georgian player doesn't necessarily have to. And they can stick around here. It's still not very easy to play in these open areas, but... I think Sora Kuma came home looking for that scout, but then he just missed it. Did you see that? Saw it for half a second. He wants to hit Feudal Age faster and chase this down. So it definitely looks like a scout opening for Sora Kuma. Which is great with the Georgians if you can just stay safe. He's up and he drops the stables. Stark is looking now to see what's happening. Militia are there and Sora Kuma needs to see that. And I assume Sora Kuma spots that. Guys, I think Sora Kuma's missing some stuff here. Like, I'm still not fully convinced he spotted this. Maybe he did. He seems to be looping back now. Yeah, now he should see it. So he knows it will be man-at-arms. But yeah, you got to quickly wall in your eco here before the scout comes in to block any walls. As Stark will move out. He'll evacuate, get some food on the outside. It's interesting it's not wood. Normally you see a second lumber camp first. And Stark is going arson. That's crazy strong, man. Cracked terrain, buildings already receive, I think it's 25% more damage from like anything. But then you combine that with arson, which is it gives you a big boost against buildings, and this could just devastate you on this map. And Stark's found a good position. This villager has walked around the other side. That villager will be sniped. This is a credible start for Stark. Just so tough to play against this. Well, let's pay attention to this house now. With arson, one villager repair is not enough. That needs to be maybe 3 vills repairing that. And St4rk needs to notice this right now or he could just die. He's not noticing it. He's not noticing it. His scouts are coming back. He needs to repair now. It's less than 100 HP. It's still going down. It's still going to go down, guys. He needs another repair bill. He needs to run. That house is down. Stark is just playing like a maniac here. And what the... Oh my god, he just dropped a wall in the exact same spot to give himself an extra second. He's actually waiting. There's a follow-up spear. St4rk was waiting for that spearman. Snipes it. But he loses another vill. He's going to lose another vill. He's going to get completely destroyed here economically. As Stark will probably lose his army, but he'll be very happy with the value there. That's a beautiful start for Stark. He's going to have a lot of scouts to deal with, though. But my goodness, was that insane. Now, interesting little tidbit. There's no fire galley for St4rk, so he's been so focused on land. No fire galley. Fire galley's on the way from Stark to pressure the fish. Stark does have a lot of exposed areas, but he's going to tower out here. That keeps him somewhat safe. He's trying to wall in towards the TC here, but these scouts are coming, and it's going to be tough for Stark now to keep up with these scouts. These scouts slowly regen with the Georgians. They can get a lot of value in a lot of different areas. And Stark didn't know that the scouts would come here, and St4rk says, it's my turn to feast on villagers. And so he'll get 1, he'll get 2. Might need to run away before he gets a 3rd, but that's a really nice recovery there. Is losing his fishing ships, though. Has to just peel away with that fishing ship to try and save the others. Still has to micro more scouts. Crazy game. Love the farming eco from St4rk. Seeing this many farms in a messy game is really impressive already. But I love the amount of spears that Stark is going for. He's got spears everywhere. And again, Stark didn't lose anything on water, so... Stark should be pretty happy with things still. It does become a harder game to play when you're chasing down the scouts. Against a good scout player, things can get really messy here really fast. And St4rk, yeah, just using the speed there, trying to micro, gets another vill pick, runs away. Stark needs a follow-up, and here it is. He wants some damage here, actually snipes a farm. That's 60 wood down for St4rk. On the outside, we have St4rk with a tower taking some wood and food as well. Damn, crazy game. But St4rk has to win this, guys. Like, this is his home map. This is arguably the best map he has against Stark today. Has to win this one. And Stark is playing so good. So sharp. And hey, he continues on water. Just one thing after the other that St4rk has to deal with here. A random villager exposed from the shoreline. That villager can go down. Stark's got 6 spearmen and 6 archers here. He's got spears everywhere. St4rk will lose out on water, which hurts. Hurts in a lot of different ways, but if Stark completely wins water, he can just sit fires and demos here to stop the crossing. Stark is pretty safe on the outside. And St4rk has skirmishers now. Skirmishers can be great against the spearmen and against the archers. And looks like a spearman just got picked off there. And St4rk is normally breaking players that are like super fast, but maybe not as strategic. But these two players are very similar in how they play. Slower and more methodical. But I gotta say, that's a nice pick off there from Sora Kuma. Sora Kuma still has skirms on the map. Skirms can do a lot against the army Stark has. Stark will also run into the tower. He has to still worry about these scouts. It is Malian spearmen, so they do tank a little bit more. And the skirms don't have fletching yet. And players probably going to be up around the same time here. But Stark's going to be up faster. And Stark's got way more on food right now. I know a lot of that's on berries and a lot of that's on deer, but he still got the fish too. He actually is making a demo, I think, to put on this crossing because he knows Sora Kuma keeps coming back. That would be a crazy big shot. Especially when the scouts are grouped like that. There it is, guys. Hello, YouTube Shorts. The scouts are lurking around. Scouts want some damage. Scouts kill a spearman. Scouts will find some vills here. Forging is in, so the scouts get a snipe. Nice play. Army is here from Stark. Sora Kuma, does he see that? He finds it. Okay, so he's aware. Fletching still isn't in, but that could be a good time for an engagement. Demo's still patrolling from Stark. The demo lurks in the waters, waiting for a victim. Okay, I really just want the short. We'll see if we'll probably get nothing from it. Notice how Stark's also patrolling here, so now the skirms can't really chase him. Not easily anyways. Scouts will probably just be sent in after that. That's what I would do anyways. And scouts will sacrifice themselves so the skirms can chase the crossbows. But that's the thing. It is going to be crossbows. And Sora Kuma is still 50 seconds away from Castle Age. The crossbows are here. He has to drop a tower. Not a position you want to drop a tower in, right? Normally, you want your towers to be on the other side. But it is necessary, and he drops the tower and can stay safe for now. Scouts will run forward again. Stark is normally super fast to town centers, but he is really leaning into the aggression here. Crossbow and a couple knights. Sora Kuma still can stabilize this, though, with Elite Skirm. And push back those crossbows. Water's almost completely gone. He does have one fire galley. That might not be enough. Stark is adding another dock. We might see him add some fishing ships now from that, if he thinks he's won water. Crazy game. They're both playing so sharp. Pedro, thanks so much for the 10 gifted, man. Thank you for the dodges, chat. I am distracted by high-level AoE right now. Support means a lot, though. This has been a great start to the day. The thing about knights is you can't really make that many of them with your eco right now. Like, your food eco is really not that good if you're Stark. And, so, you know, the first couple knights gets the value, but then it kind of tails off. But he will have 3 of them, and it just gives his crossbow some space and time. You could tell Stark's realizing now that he just needs to force them away and then move. The churches increase the work rate of the surrounding area for the Georgians. They also allow villagers to hop inside. So the churches are a massive factor here. You've got the tower and you have the church. So they're both firing arrows. And Stark has to get away. Really tough for Stark to have done much damage here. What a great job for Sora Kuma. Churches, towers. He was in Castle Age so much later, and he's kind of okay right now. Yeah, I think Sora Kuma probably canceled forging. I just assumed that he still had it. But Capture Age isn't going to miss that. He probably just canceled forging earlier. Feels like Sora Kuma is going to build a castle soon. He's really close to the stone. It's kind of hard to tell. Stark does have that second town center, which is key. So second TC for him. He could also build a castle. I actually think Gebeto can be really good in this matchup. But now that both players are backing away, it just feels like this will go late. And that economy will be a big factor here. Still no pushback from Sora Kuma on water. Stark has a couple more fishing ships out. And Stark's still faster to the town centers. Much faster to the town centers. I think my stream is dropping frames right now, but we're going to be back. Refresh, please. Refresh, refresh. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but St4rk is about to push. And St4rk, I mean, feels like he might go for an aggressive castle. It's a really long way to advance forward with an army of skirms when knights are out. But if you have 2 monks with it, it's fine. He had a monk somewhere. This guy's just back here right now. 539 stone. What an awkward number to have. He actually shifted off the rest of this stone, so he's not thinking about the castle right now. But I feel like that would be so helpful, right? I feel like going, like, Manaspa would be so good here. You have a lot of food. I mean, St4rk will see 2 additional TCs, and he's still on 1. So this will tell him he needs aggression. On paper, he needs to drop a forward castle. But also, Stark's eco is not exactly great right now to make enough army to push that back. As Stark is kind of in the dark with everything right now. He doesn't know there's a siege workshop there. He does see the villager with an outpost. Stark might think that there's no siege yet, and he might buy a castle and build it here to try and stop a future push. I'm just waiting, like, where is Stark? Is he gonna spend his resources on some army here? It is a little slow to that move, and now the siege is here for St4rk. He does have more vills on stone now, too. Also, there goes the demo. The demo's still waiting. Oh, no, there's another demo here. Okay. Yeah, Stark can see the monks. Stark can see the skirms. The best type of unit against this type of push would be Light Calf. So I see him with the stable now. I think he wants to do that. But the food eco isn't fantastic. St4rk with 90 seconds of TC idle time, which is pretty incredible considering how messy it's been. But then again, he has only had 1 TC. I mean, dropping a castle would be great if you had all your vills here, but your vills are super far away. So I just don't know if a forward castle makes any sense. By the time you get vills forward, it might be too late. Look at St4rk's scouting activity. He's looking in the back. He's trying to see if there's going to be any army there. His ballistics, he'll find these crossbows now, so he will find these as Stark just realizes this army's kind of useless here. He doesn't get all of them, but does get a lot of them. And Stark's TC is going down, guys, and Stark is still waiting for the Knights and the Light Cav to come in. He wants the Light Cav to snipe the Monks, and then the Knights for everything else. That can work here. But also, St4rk will see things from a really long way away. Yeah, see, he'll see this from a long way away because of the outposts. And he can also hide the Monks inside the church, too. So, Stark is going to try and dive for the Monks, but the Monks should go inside the church here. He doesn't do it, though. He doesn't do it. He shifts the conversions onto Knights. And, guys, he converts so much. He converts so much. And there's no bloodlines for Stark. I mean, that's an upgrade that would have definitely helped. Now Stark is going to drop a castle there. But this is in desperation, man. We've got the Skirms, the Monks, the Knights that were converted, and the Siege coming right here. And Stark's eco lead is just going to disappear now. He's gained the eco lead, but he's not been able to keep it alive. He's not been able to manage the army, and that's all St4rk has done in Castle Age. Just now do we have the second TC for St4rk on the outside. What a great job from St4rk with the outposts to get those conversions, to just see and control the whole game. It's like he's playing on all visible. He's also got outposts over here. That was maybe one of the things he didn't have in the previous game was outposts, right? Oh, God. All Stark has is Vills, so he's trying to use Vills to rush this and allow himself to get the castle up. But Stark has lost 39 eco this game now. And the castle... castle... It's gonna go up. It's gonna go up. Okay, castle's up. But his eco has been deleted. And there's a castle here. Oh, my God. Yo. Oh, that's sick. What a recovery. What a recovery from Kuma. Holy, that's great. What a sick series so far, guys. This has been some great Age of Empires. And just like considering the stakes as well, that was so well played. I was actually concerned there for Kuma. He's down like 20-some vills. The thing is, sometimes you can get too deep into the boom and you don't have the army. I think st4rk, had he gone 2 town centers and spent some more food on light cav, he might clear that. But it was just like 2 light cav and 3 knights. It wasn't very big. He didn't have enough there. It could be the multitasking aspect of the map. Like, the opening was really strong, but it just gets harder and harder and harder. Kuma gets the win on his home map, ties it up 1-1. As st4rk will go to his maps to slow this down a little bit. But someone in chat says a bit early for the GG. Friend, I'm going to have to disagree with you there. This town center's been destroyed. This town center is barely standing. This castle's about to go up on this town center, and there is nothing to protect this. I mean, he's lost 50 villagers. It's looking pretty rough. But maybe in terms of resources collected, you would have expected a little bit more. Fun game, though. Kuma just dominated the fights in Castle Age. And again, for one town center, he had really good eco management. GG. Wow, interesting generation here in terms of the wood for Kuma. He's got a lot of wood in this corner. Actually could hurt you. It doesn't have as much space for farms later on. But it's not that big of a deal. Just an early observation here. Game 3, st4rk's home map, his #1 Civ pick. So #1 Civ pick for st4rk. Obviously, odds are good that he could end up taking the win here. This is a really good map for st4rk because aggression is calculated on this map. All-in aggression does not really work that well. It's a bit of a chess match of an AW2 game. You have every resource available at your base, but it's like eventually you're going to run out. So what's your timing to pressure these golds in the north and the south? You also have the water aspect. Again, it's not full micro on the water, though, because you also have the sea tower, and the sea tower can help you defend. So perfect map for st4rk. And I would have expected this to be st4rk's map coming into this series. I think Zong isn't the biggest surprise because st4rk also historically is pretty good on arena maps. So, yeah. Kuma's at the disadvantage right now because he's lost with his #1 Civ and only has one of his home maps remaining. But if he wins this, of course, we're prepped for Game 5. So, yeah, there is some awkwardness to Kuma's base. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, but again, just kind of awkward for him to farm boom in here compared to st4rk. st4rk's base is really good by Shoal standards. I think both of these golds are actually somewhat wallable. And you do tend to see some walling on this map. Whereas this gold for Kuma is a bit more exposed. I'm wondering how Kuma will play this. If I had to guess right now, I would say we see fast feudal from him. I think we see 2 docks. I think we see some galleys to snipe st4rk's fish. And then I think st4rk will go fast castle and try and upgrade his fires and just retake water right away. But I like the fast feudal approach with Bengalis. I think the key thing with that is actually where you build your town centers later. If the Italian player does what I said, I think building a town center on the sides could be really strong here for Kuma. I really think there is a trend where people need to switch it up a little bit. I mean, we're getting to the tail end of this map being used, so it's a little late, but I think we need to see a little bit more early town centers on these golds. A lot of the time, players want their town centers as quickly as possible so they can get their vills up and their eco safe, which is good, but then they sometimes just run out of gold. And they face a lot of resistance when they move out here, so. st4rk is going to run through the middle. You can do that. I doubt he'll continue on because he'll run directly into the sea tower. That would be crazy if he continues to run on, right? The sea tower could hit him, can it not? Well, okay. I would never take the risk. Clearly, st4rk has done the math. He made that look easy. I mean, sometimes the sea tower is more centered on the crossing. So the arrows go directly into your scout. So that's a pretty crazy move. But maybe I've been missing something. And scout finds Kuma. We'll see Kuma's dock position much earlier than you normally do. That should tell... that would tell me that this is going to be the fast feudal approach. Because normally the fast castle approach, the dock is directly beneath the sea tower. And actually, as I say that, I think Stark's getting loom. Is Stark going to go fast feudal? Yeah, wow, that's really fast. It's cheaper for the Italians, right? So cheaper fishing ships, cheaper age ups. This hasn't been the typical play. Sora Kuma. And maybe he is the one that goes up late. No, I think he's expecting fast castle. I just don't think he feels he needs to rush to feudal. Also, the fact that Stark has scouted so much has actually boosted his score a lot, too. So another thing players can look at for indicators is a little bit of a score dip. Because you do lose out on some score once you click up. I think I just guessed wrong here, guys. Sora Kuma's not going for a fast feudal. At least not yet. Now, I think it's just a calculated... It's like a fast-ish, healthy eco type of feudal. I don't know how to say it. This allows you to have 2 lumber camps. This allows you to have a lot more resources banked up. You do this when you don't expect the opponent to go for the super tight build order. The meta has pretty much been Italians don't go fast feudal here. And that's exactly what Stark is doing. Second dock is coming up. He wants those galleys fast. And Sora Kuma will see this, and his scout will immediately go back home. He'll be like, what? And I would send my scout immediately home, because if Stark is over here in feudal and he snipes your scout, that's horrible. So he's not going to take the risk. Obviously, Stark is over here. We know that. He doesn't. And Sora Kuma will now head to gold as well. Sora Kuma will build the second dock. But I still kind of like Sora Kuma's position because he's had so many fishing ships. So even if you lose a couple, you've already paid off in food. You get 2 more vills as well. And then the second the galleys could show up, you just move right underneath the sea tower, man. Like, your fish are just safe then, for a little bit anyways. Let's see. Let's see where Stark goes. I think Stark will find the fish pretty quickly here. And, well, as you can notice, Sora Kuma's done the math. He knows he's been feudal for a minute. And look, Stark is trying to add 2 galleys and then add fish behind, but he doesn't know that Sora Kuma is actually going to add navy here. So this is a misread from Stark. He's expecting his opponent to not be making navy. He can always switch out of this. This is also the weird benefit of not going up laser fast, lightning fast. Okay, sees the second dock now. I think Stark will make more galleys. Woodford asking in chat why Stark's score is much higher. You just look at the scouting. Scouting on the minimap there, scouting on the minimap there. Scouting, you get 100 points for 10% of the map scouted. Stark's got easily 30% more of the map scouted. Yeah, Stark was not expecting these galleys initially. Kind of overextended, didn't kill anything. And Sora Kuma's fish are safe and protected by the sea tower for a little bit anyways. And Stark's are not, because he already took the fish underneath the sea tower. Is this old water patch? No, this is current water patch. The Thalassocracy tournament is using like a beta or a test version. This is current water, as is. So you won't see anything from that tournament. Scout's really big deal on this map, and Stark almost killed that. Could actually chase that down, but I think he's just paranoid otherwise. And look at the resources collected here for Sora Kuma. Look at the resource balance here, guys. Things are looking really smooth for him to just ease towards Castle Age here. The sea tower you start with, you can't build one. It's also a customized sea tower too, so it actually has additional projectiles. So there's a map they added called Aqua Arena, which has sea towers, but they don't have 3 projectiles. So it's actually rather confusing. Just because sea towers aren't a common thing, but you know, if you ever play Aqua Arena, think of me. I told you, okay? unless they changed it there, I don't know. Stark got fletching for the Galley War. Sora Kuma did not. But Sora Kuma, I think, just wants to value Castle Age here. I think he's just like, well, it's not really that valuable. I have the sea tower to chill under. Let me just relax. Let me just wait for Castle H click. Really nice click up. And you've just got this minor lead. This slight lead for Kuma. We've had 0 kills, 0 deaths. Kuma has seemed pretty relaxed against a pretty fast feudal. And that's the beauty of the C tower. But this is okay, that's the first big thing there for Stark we've seen this game. Losing that scout's brutal. Usually now, Kuma will never move out because he doesn't know what his opponent has. It could be an archer range or a stable. And Stark has the freedom to move out, scout all that, and know. Fletching is still in for Stark and not in for Kuma. It's on the way for Kuma. Stark dives. But the micro from Kuma is still pretty good. The C tower could help out a little bit. And Fletching is in now. A C tower did some nice damage there. It did, well, it did a grand total of 100 damage, so I guess it's not that crazy. But I guess that's something, and that's 1 or 2 ships weakened, maybe. Transport ship for Kuma was in queue. I guess that was a misclick. Should also point out both players sold stone now. Stark still hasn't even clicked up, but he also sold 100 stone to get the gold to go up. But this is where I think it's underrated to move out for a second TC here. Your second TC is delayed massively, but just think it's so valuable to get the gold early. I think if Kuma loses this game, he will regret losing that scout. Because you'll always add the monastery here. And you can always just have healed that up. And then you could still have the scout. There wasn't a lot of value in having a weak scout out there at that point, in my opinion. Kuma is going to switch to fires now. T90, would you rather be a sea tower or a mule cart? I'd rather be a sea tower, man. You have a nice little seaside view. No one can call me an ass. I would definitely choose sea tower there. But maybe mule cart feels like a lot of work. Feel like I'd get bossed around a lot, you know? Sea tower, I'd be free. Free on the not so high seas. Here comes the upgraded navy. Kuma won't know how much time he actually has with this. He's got another 90 seconds with the navy lead. And Stark is going to have some issues here. His dock is getting focused down. He lost a fishing ship. This is going to make him lean even more and more into trying to stabilize on water. The second town center's on the way for Kuma. Monk could be out looking for relics. Taking down the dock is a really interesting decision. I don't know if I would do that here. I think I would just try and, to dive on this navy. Oh, we've got some demos here from Kuma. He's going to hope to splash these ships. But that's also risky against galleys. A scout from Stark runs through the middle, looking for monks, I'm sure. Stark loses his dock. Stark's getting his upgrade. Kuma's going to dive. Kuma's going to dive. Kuma knows the upgrades are coming in. Look at the micro! The micro with the demos. The demos were just bait. The demos were just bait. The demos didn't actually land at all, which is kind of the risk in making them, but... Oh, and then a big demo from Stark, but wait. Still, Stark doesn't have that good of a position here on water. The fire will come in. The full HP ships for Kuma are there. Really weak navy for Stark. I think Stark is investing more into water, so he still should take water. But honestly, I've always felt like water's overrated on this map at this stage. Fish is kind of overrated. Forcing your opponent into spending a lot more gold to take an area like this, I think is a small win for Kuma. He is actually getting a relic in the north right now. Stark, though, is going to come down here for a TC in the south. And that I love. Let's not forget how important water can be later on this map with cannon galleons and being able to range castles and TCs on the shoreline. But Kuma using the fires here, weakening so many ships, finally getting the kills. This is Stark's home map, and it is 52 eco against 36 right now, guys. Significant difference in eco. Significant difference in resources collected. Stark still has Italians with some water control. And Stark is building the third TC. So, It'd be funny if this scout dies. Or even gets walled in or something. Stark patrolled. Scout can obviously be insanely strong here still. It can kill the monk. The Navy can kill the monk. Monk survives. Yeah, so Sora Kuma's on stone. You never build this TC here unless you're already thinking about that castle. Everything here is with a plan and a purpose, guys. And so he now needs to be aware of what's going on over here. And Stark needs to understand that either the northern gold's going to be taken or the southern gold's going to be taken. And I think outposting down here is key for him. His scout's still there. But if that dies, that hurts him a little. And it does go down. Mike Tyson out there. 16 HP. Nice little right hook. And that means Stark is in the dark. That sounds like a really... If Stark wants to create, like, I don't know, a podcast or something. After Dark with Stark. That's pretty good. He should try it. Or Stark After Dark. I don't know. These vills are dead. So they're off to the darkness. Stark can see the outpost, though, so he knows something's coming. And both players are on stone. So both players are thinking about it. This game could end with a Doubt Castle. No freaking way. Sora Kuma somehow doesn't see any of this? Bro. Guys, that's a really big deal, right? Like, you are just assuming that your opponent is not there at all. Okay, you can see the one vill. So maybe he has an idea, but that's crazy. Stark is just getting some relics. Stark may or may not notice this villager here. Sora Kuma's outpost will finish. Yeah, now Stark sees it. Or, yeah, and then the villager gets deleted. So now, I think Sora Kuma looks at this and should maybe see it. But that's a maybe. Sora Kuma is investing a lot more into water now. He might be able to take water. Still feels like we're building up towards a castle here. Maybe a TC or a castle could come up here for either player, though. Neither player making a move. And Stark with an interesting choice. He's expecting mainly monks from Sora Kuma, so he's getting atonement. Which I really like here, because that's what I would expect. I'd expect a couple monks and then a castle here. And I mean, it's all you've seen, right? And we have a pause now. Really important moment. So, Bodkin's not in for the War Galleys, so it's not all that strong. The Sea Tower is still full HP, and there's only 2 fires. So, I really don't think Sora Kuma can do a lot on water right now to take that. Farming eco needs to improve for Stark. Stable now from Sora Kuma is something that Stark obviously has no clue about. So, Stark's plan of going just monks against this is going to look rough. If the scouts come out. That's a big if. Siege Workshop for Sora Kuma. That could be for a Mangonel. And he's bringing all the vills as well. And now the conversion starts for Sora Kuma. Stark might think that that's atonement right there. But no, the villager gets converted. The monk then gets deleted from Sora Kuma because he knows what that means. There is no Mangonel in queue. Now it's in queue. Stark is going to build an outpost here. He doesn't know. And I think if he sees anything, he's going to immediately drop his own castle. I think this can end with a Doubt Castle. I think this is going to end with a Doubt Castle. Yeah. I mean, Stark, you have to try and castle this, right? Yeah, there it is. This is a problem, though. The siege is already on the way. Sora Kuma's already on the way to Imp. Siege is at like basically 100%. Here it comes. Stark is in big trouble here. He's just been completely outboomed. Like, Sora Kuma's build-up, his economy has been so good. He will be an Imp for Trebuchets, and this Mangonel, it probably won't finish this. I think Stark is going to be in and out of the town center a lot. But this puts Stark under a lot of pressure right now. Yeah, just... I don't know what you call this. But this in and out of the TC dance is a pretty good play from Stark. And okay, he doesn't actually lose a Vil. He is also on the way to the Imperial Age. There's a 2-minute timing difference. And there's also an armored elephant here to start to hit this castle. So all this stuff is going to start to add up. I think it's really important to get some coverage and some control in the north right now. If you're either player, neither player has a TC there. But also, you could just continue to hard commit here to the south. And St4rk is not going to do that. He's actually going to castle the north. Look at the amount of outposts they both build. They build so many more outposts than other players. Stark's turn to miss out on something. He won't expect there to be a castle there. Especially a one villager castle. I also don't think Stark knew that St4rk had this big navy this whole time. Like, they've just kind of forgotten about water. Stark needs an advantage somewhere. Look at this from St4rk. He goes and he heals the elephant inside the castle. That's the only siege weapon you can do that with in the game. He's just evacuating it. He might even heal it up with a monk. And then this one gets weak as well. And he pulls this back too. He's making a treb. I mean, Stark is going to lose this gold. And he's going to have to run to the north. Because the gold in the south is no longer an option for him. And there is a one villager castle going up out of Stark's vision. Yeah, I would just let the elephants die too. Just like let them do any damage you can. But no, he's saving them again. What? And there's an elephant here. There's a battle elephant. St4rk's got him exactly where he wants him, bro. Exactly where he wants him. He saw him. He had the stable here. And Stark now can't take the gold in the north. He doesn't even know about the castle. What a game from St4rk. And now the castle for Stark will fall. He finally makes it to Imp. Remember, it's cheaper for the Italians to do everything that we've seen in this game. Going up to the next stage. Navy upgrades. The university upgrades. All these things that we have and will see. But St4rk has been able to make it happen anyways. Such a good position here now. And such a good position here. I mean, Stark's working with so little gold. He will try and win the game with Genoese. He is up against some elephants, so Genoese are good there. But I don't think that St4rk will continue with elephants. And now St4rk will make skirmishers. That castle in the north was crazy confident. I love that. And now look at the stone count for St4rk. He's so far ahead. He just had such a good approach. He didn't over-invest into water. He prioritized castle age. He prioritized his economy. He prioritized the gold control at the perfect time. Stark has had a good game. Just like game number 2, he had a really good game. Amazing start and all that. But St4rk's transitions just so smooth. Stark is clinging to life right now. This is also where he had his relics too. So he didn't even have his relics at home. So now he doesn't have that gold income. So like Stark is kind of shook right now. He's not ahead in any single category of the game. Not in terms of villager count, gold control, relic count, navy count, military count, technologies, and it's over. And so St4rk, after that maybe heartbreaking game number 1, I mean, it was such a good approach from him, and Stark was able to make it happen anyways, responds with 2 clutch victories. This one was really impressive and just kind of a reminder of how I think solid he is on maps that are so strategic. I was very surprised that Stark chose to go fast feudal. I think in Stark's mind, it's a little bit of a coin flip. And like, he felt like the fast feudal could surprise someone. And he did fall into the trap. Sometimes when it's galleys v galleys, one player will say, oh, I want to be better there. So I'll get fletching super fast. I'll go for the 3rd dock and overproduce on water. But like overproducing on water and feudal doesn't do too much. St4rk just sat underneath the tower. He added farms instead of ships. And then he added the ships later on. Crazy. As someone says, T90, did Italians ever win on this map in TTL? Oh, they've won a lot, dude. It's one of the highest picked civs. I don't know about the win rate because there have been some civs. There have been some losses for the Italians. But Italians are top 5 on the map, in my opinion. I think Italians, Bengalis, Malay. I actually really like Persians too, but people might disagree with me there. The list goes on. So it's not a question on if the Italians are good. It's just St4rk. Super smooth. Ahead in every single resource except stone. And now 1 win away from getting to Gold League. the gold league that he's been desiring for a super long time. All right, so Stark's got one home map left. One home map left. And this is it. So he wins here. We go to game number 5. Winner moves into the gold bracket. But he's gone for his big hitter Civ. He had Italians as pick number 1. That went down in the previous game. Now he goes for Cumans. And Cumans is just one of those Civs that some people hate and some people love. But it dictates how a game plays out almost completely. Because it's the only Civ that can make the second TC in Feudal, and that can be really strong if you let them cook. So I think Sora Kuma will, whatever he's thinking, he's going to have to lean more towards aggression in some ways, because the Cumans are problematic if they can get the eco. What I would expect, if I had to guess right now, though, is Sora Kuma will be pretty happy with the way. Sora Kuma knows the way. He's on the way, maybe, to gold. He will know that there is no way for Stark to stop his Civ if he puts his foot on the gas in a calculated fashion. And so I say that because for every eco upgrade, you get more Vils. That's a way to somehow keep up with the Cumans. And then I also am in love with the Janbei Rider. So if I had to make a prediction right now, I think Sora Kuma is going to play maybe some scouts for map control. But then I think he plays lots of Janbeis to try and break and push the Cumans. Now, it's I think the first time I've seen these two Civs face off against each other in a tourney. But I've been comparing the Janbei to a Kipchek, which is the unique unit for the Cumans. They have fast fire speed and they do solid damage for their cost. But they can be rather like squishy. They can be rather weak because they're low HP. But obviously a Kipchek you have to produce out of a castle. So there's a pretty big difference there already. And you can just make the Janbeis out of the archer range. So, and 5 relics are scattered along the middle. And players can get those. You start with these shrines that you can cut through to and make little priests that only have 5 range. So not as good as the monk. But yeah, we'll see. Seeing if there's any questions in chat here. Biggie Billy Bob was asking about the shrines. Yeah, these are shrines. So they're not monasteries technically. They can only produce priests. And you're not actually able to put the relics inside of them. So this is specific to this map. It was way less confusing before the change to the regional monasteries came in. So like they made so Civ's monasteries all like are regional based now. They added a lot more. Same with the monks. So it was way less confusing. Speaking of way, what if we had a way emote? I don't know what it would say. No way. It could just say, the way emote could just be WEI way. I mean, it wouldn't be our best emote. I don't know. People have fun with it, you know? The way. You could work it into a lot of different sentences. Thoughts? I think I'm gonna do something. Atreus says the way puns are so annoying. Bro, you're really in a Twitch chat full of people making these jokes are gonna say it's annoying? Oh god. You just made it so much worse. Rule number 1 of the internet is you must ignore and not acknowledge anything you consider as a problem. Well, that's not exactly true, but... Wow, so Sora Kuma is going fast feudal here. And so is Stark. Stark expected. Stark wants that second TC. T90, can you delete the shrine, put in your regional monastery that looks the same spot, and hide your relics in there? Yeah, you could. You could do that. I think, isn't the Cuman monastery like this? I think it's the same architecture. I don't have it memorized, forgive me, but I think it is. I think like Mongols and Huns and Cumans. Yeah, there's now a barracks for Sora Kuma. So I think he's just going to play almost like a scout build here. But the bonus, of course, is he gets the additional vills when he gets the Ecotex. You get the vills faster if you do this and if you do anything else. So it's not a bad build. What about a Shu emote as well, T90? Yeah, but like Shu is harder to make jokes with. Like, Shu, I could be like, Shu fly, don't bother me. Or I could be like, this person's a Shu in to win. But I say way a lot. The way to play this Civ, you know, way over there. There's lots of ways that we can use that. Ooh, this is close. Too close for comfort for Stark. He backs away. The second town center's on the way for his tournament life. See, I just said way. I didn't even try and say way. It wasn't even intentional. I promise you I'm not trying. A little priest back there healing up behind the wood line. And I'd expect the same thing for Sora Kuma. Sora Kuma's already out. Sora Kuma's already through. Sora Kuma's already getting the relic. He's got the spears to protect. So he focused that tree a lot faster here, which seems like a ridiculous thing, but that's a big aspect of the map. Stark's like, wait a second, that relic's gone. That's not cool. And there he's going. And that's one relic into the base. You do not benefit from getting it right now, though. Also, the resources collected is higher for Sora Kuma. I think that's just efficiency. And now Stark. And Stark sees the spearman there, and Stark will have to balance his eco while also microing that one scout. He doesn't have any military beyond this scout. And actually, that's not exactly true. He does have the priest. A priest has just been able to get freed up here. The scouts are engaging, and they'll just continue to fall back to those priests. Pay attention to the idle TC time from Stark. This is not a free boom. This is a lot more micromanaging than you would typically go for. I would expect this to be a little bit more awkward. Not quite as clean. Sora Kuma is doing such a good job at always keeping those two spears there. And look at his resources now, too. His resources are looking really good. And this is where I think getting to Castle Age and playing aggressive is what you have to do. I mean, you either do that or you go straight 3TC boom. I guess you could just try that, but then the humans can take so much map control. It takes longer here in this matchup for the humans to get the Vill lead, but they will get it, and their eco will be better. There's almost a guarantee there. Yeah, woo is also not something we say. I think we're going to add the way. We're going to add a way emote. We've got 60 emote slots. Why not? Sora Kuma, is he locked in? Is he locked in right now? Did he see the relic is gone? He does. He says, no way, dude. No way. Sorry, dude. The one guy who's really annoyed by that. You're just going to have to deal with it. And now, oh, he baits Stark back. He baits Stark back into the spears, and Stark looks away for a second. And Stark's scout goes down. I mean, it was going to be difficult. You're focusing on balancing the eco, placing the perfect farms. As Sora Kuma says, thank you very much. And you've got a spearman on the back. You've got a spearman on the front. And they are hi-ho humming all the way back to the base. Feeling good about life right now. It's sick, too. Like, Stark has had to produce a couple priests. Sora Kuma's only made one. And there's the archer range now for Sora Kuma. So what I predict is Siege, Jean Base. I think we see a second range in his base. I think we see 2 villagers forward maybe for a siege workshop. Now again, you could be feeling so good about this because you're going to have the relics. You're getting more vills when you get eco upgrades. You could maybe just justify the TCs at home. I haven't seen the matchup enough. But usually with like normal civs, you can't like pressure the humans because they're going to take full map control. Stark did get one relic, by the way. He's just going to stand there in that little area where you can't fit a farm or anything. As someone says, GG, because he has all the relics. I'm not sure anyone has seen this map before. The relics mean very little. Ah, he's calling out chat. A chatter is calling out chat. Well, it's a really good call out from you, Ismail. Because there's so much gold on this map, the relics don't actually matter near as much as everything else. The relics, obviously, are like the main thing players fight over in the early stages, but there's only one gold in your base. You do need to move out, and it's tough to do so. So think TT4rk should recognize that. TT4rk's going to Stone, which feels like this is going to be fast Imperial style. But definitely means he's going to want kip checks. And it's not going to be the big army play from Sora Kuma. He just builds his monastery. Goes for TC number 2, TC number 3. Will make a couple Janbeis, but isn't actually going aggressive at all. And we'll get these 2 relics right away. Boom. I'll get the other 2 as well. I doubt the monks are saying boom, but you know the deal. And look at the resources collected now. It's ahead for TT4rk, but I mean, he only has 1 TC producing vills. He does have 22 farmers, though, that are constantly dropping off all the resources now. And it is 3 TCs for Sora Kuma, so I think it'll be pretty even. Again, I meant no disrespect to TT4rk coming into the series, calling Sora Kuma the favorite, but I think the last 2 games, after how maybe brutal the first game was, I think it reminds you guys of why I was saying that about Sora Kuma. It is not his elo. I couldn't give 2 craps about elo, honestly. It really just comes down to how could someone deliver in tournaments. Sora Kuma is top 20 in ATP right now. Top 20. So gold is 25 to 48 in the world. So it feels like, you know, Sora Kuma's at least got to be in that gold caliber, and he has really shown that here. A couple Janbeis in the middle. I think it's important for Sora Kuma to know what TT4rk's going to try next. Like, knowing about this stone being mined would be nice. I think that's what I would always assume here, but you just don't know. 2 kills for him, obviously. The monk is taking a closer look. And we'll start to convert a vill. If he converts that vill, it'll build an outpost immediately. And Villager really thought about it. Villager was like, I kind of feel like I want to side with the relics, honestly. But he stays. Yeah, this feels to me like TT4rk is even hiding the fact he's doing this. He doesn't want that castle to be spotted at all. Also feels like he's going for the fast imp style. So this, you've seen a Regicide Fortress and some other maps. The goal is to make enough army to take map control while you're on the way to imp, and then build another castle forward and win the game with Trebs. Sora Kuma can hold against this if he makes Janbeis to hold the map, and he sees the castle now. Sora Kuma has seen this before. He should know. I actually think he just, if he spams Janbeis from 2 to 3 ranges now and just continues what he is doing, I think he takes the game. Just because I think the Janbeis are good enough against the kip checks, but we'll see. TT4rk is building the stable for Bloodlines. Is building the archer range probably for Thumb Ring. So this is going to be full kip check play. Imp is on the way. TT4rk still has the Vill lead, but I mean, that's about to change as I say it now. Also saying, what is ATP? Okay, so technically, Old Willow, ATP is not Tournament Elo. Tournament Elo is a completely different system. And I would maintain that Tournament Elo is slightly flawed compared to ATP. So I don't want to get too nerdy with you here. But basically, there's different ways that you can judge a player based on all their tournament results. It doesn't take ranked into consideration at all. ATP and Tournament Elo are both used for different events. My events use ATP, which is Age of Empires tournament points. Depending on the size of the tournament and the significance of the tournaments, you get a certain amount of points. That is where Sora Kuma is top 20, which is why I considered him the favorite. So ATP's not the thing I came up with. No, ATP's been around for a minute. Tennis has something similar as well. It's actually still ATP because I think it's like something tennis points. I don't know. The different events have different systems. So, guys, I think Sora Kuma is so prepped here. I think he knows exactly what's about to come. I think he knows that TT4rk's going to try and just rush out here with a big army and take map control and drop a castle. He's adding some Tiger Cav in. This delays his imp time, but the Tiger Cav are good against archers. So that, with some monks, outposts along this whole thing, I think he's really just waiting for TT4rk. He's expecting TT4rk, with his experience, for this to happen. Here come the units from Stark. Now, Stark actually has bod kits. Stark actually has upgrades. Stark's going to see the Janbei. Janbeis don't have upgrades. He also sees the monks. The thing I'm surprised by that Sora Kuma didn't get any upgrades on his Janbeis. But maybe he thinks the Kipcheks are better. And maybe he wants Tiger Cav. This is a unit that I think is completely OP. There's also a bug with this unit, but we never see it because the Janbeis and the the Wei Eco is already really OP and really strong. So, yeah, we're going to see it here. The unit's insane. The cost is pretty high, but it's not too bad because of your economy, and you get HP and attack when you get kills. So it's like an anti-archer Cav. Stark is building a second castle at home, which is a good call. It's a very good call, because every time he moves out, he gets spotted. He'll run this way. Really intelligent wall here from 4rk Kuma. 4rk Kuma's still not on the way to Imp. Are Tiger Cav good enough against Imperial Age Kipcheks? If Stark were to play Halb Kipchek right now, he could be in a really good spot. He doesn't know he's up against Tiger Cav, though, so there's no reason for him to add Pikes and add Halbs. T90, when will you travel for the Red Bull event? Guys, I haven't received any contact from Red Bull. Zero. I'm losing sleep. No official word, no contact. I was asked by Microsoft, put some info out, let people know about the event. Still heard zero from them. So I'm obviously, on edge about that. We'll see. From what I understand, they're just delayed on things maybe, but obviously there's a whole process it takes to get there. So we'll see. Stark is a big army. Stark is an imp. Stark has chemistry. Stark wants that castle. Stark has never seen the Tiger Cav. The Tiger Cav are here now, and Kipcheks are not known for being able to dish out a lot of power. And one armor Castle Age Tiger Cav are completely shredding the Kipcheks here. There's also the priest from 4rk Kuma. He goes for conversions, and Stark just can't believe it. This came out of nowhere for him. That was so good for 4rk Kuma. That was so good. I think he needs to back up now, but that was beautiful. And it's all because of vision. It's all because of vision. He knew something was going to come at some point. That delays Stark. It doesn't finish the game, though. And now 4rk Kuma backs up. He's got his two castles over here. Kind of hidden over here. I think Stark would want to treb that. And now Stark finds out the hard way that that's where the castle is. But Stark might want to make some trebs now. And he might want to try a switch to Halbs. It is tough with 73 vills to make a switch, though. And the Tigers are coming back. And they want more. And they're just so good. They're just so good. They have so much HP. They're so tanky. And the eco from 4rk Kuma was so good. And 4rk Kuma wins 3-1. Stark will be in Silver League. I said before the series, I think if anyone was going to be less disappointed losing this series, it probably would be Stark, because I think Stark had said something along the lines of he wasn't even expecting to win the previous round. It would be great for Stark. I think he'll do very well in Silver. Nice 10K league for him. But 4rk Kuma, the player, one of two players in this bracket that I felt were just simply inevitable to get to gold, wins 3 games. And the last 2 were fairly convincing on his opponent's home map. I will ask 4rk Kuma how many practice sets and how many practice games he's played. I don't know if I can get an interview with him right now because I'm not sure how good his English is, but I do know the guy. I'm going to message him here in a second, but congratulations to 4rk Kuma. Salutes to him because that was impressive. Game 1, honestly, with a couple minor changes, he probably wins that too. And then just like 3 straight wins where he played insane. Sora's in the interview channel. Okay, sick. All right, let me see if I can get 4rk Kuma in here. I've spoken to 4rk Kuma in messages many times. I've watched him stream sometimes. I've never spoken to him before. Let me see, hop in here and interview 4rk Kuma real quick. Okay, should be working. Hello, 4rk Kuma. How are you feeling after getting promoted to gold?
Actually, I am so happy because last year I lost for white, so I.
Were you nervous You're happy, but were you nervous? Because I know you wanted to get in last time, and you
Yes.
lost to Wide. So how nervous were you?
Actually, I don't know, but maybe next year I am so ready. So my game is not expect.
Okay. How many training games do you think you played? If you had to guess, how many games for TTL?
Oh, I think many game, so many game. And yes, training for the lab. Uh, uh, so many.
So
I
many.
know
Okay.
how to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. If I had, would it? Do you think it's over like 100 games?
No. But I think have 15 game. I think 15.
Okay. Got you. Nice.
15.
Well,
yeah.
St4rk, you're so fun to watch. Your style is so interesting to me because some people are like, I guess, like really aggressive, but I find you're a little bit more, like relaxed and just more strategy, right?
Yeah. Yes. I am I like really aggressive, but I like go in strategy because if I play floor player, I am done for my code. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I like for strategy for my game.
Okay. So St4rk, you're going to be in Gold League. I'll read off some of the players that will be in Gold League. Doubts, Margugu, Ganji. There's obviously a longer list. I think Prisma will be there. Classic Pro, Capoch, Dogao. Like these are some really big names. How do you think you will do well in Gold League? How do you think you will perform?
I think I still can win, but I I'm not sure. Uh, let let player don't like a hero, don't like a YO. So I think if I uh, again this, I will win. I think.
Okay, I think so too. I think genuinely, if you prepare, which you do a very good job of, you have proven that you can beat a lot of great players. And your ATP, your tournament rankings right now coming into this is, it is, where are you? 20th, 17th in the world in all tournaments. So in my opinion, I think people should fear you in Gold League. And you're an exciting talent. So congratulations. I'm very happy for you. I was very happy to see you show all your skills to everybody in this bracket and making Gold League, St4rk. I'm happy for you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Take care. He's so happy, dude. He's so happy. He's so happy. Do you hear his laughs? I love it. St4rk is a legend. He's so good. As far as like what this whole format's created for, guys, St4rk is just a perfect player for it. He's been getting better and better. He will. I truly believe he'll be in platinum someday. We'll see. Gold League will be competitive, but salutes to him for hopping into the interview and just improving massively over the last couple years. I still remember a lot of you guys weren't here for this, but there was the 2020 World Cup, and there weren't as many good Taiwanese players back then, and I think it was St4rk and then it was Cloud. And this St4rk at that time was like 20 years old, I think, 19 years old. And everyone at that point, everyone's like, that's kind of rare to have like a 19 or 20-year-old talent. He was really good, and then he left the game for a little bit. Like, he didn't play for a couple years, like 2 years or so. He was like kind of not around. And then since he's returned, he's been insane. He's been insane. So well played to him. Thanks to him for hopping in.